sometimes. You also want to look like...
This one. This one there, like we say it, you say it in PG, you just one day my top.
You decided to start it all, you know. Anyway, it's a pleasure to be here. Good to see you. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while.
How's it going?
I'm doing well.
That's
and
good.
how is the constituency, the people of Guan, doing?
Well, I think let me say good morning to our viewers and your very self and the people of the Guan constituency. I was there. I came back on Monday. So far, so very good. As I indicated the last time we spoke, our major concern is the road infrastructure. You know, we don't have a single road that is motorable within the entire district. And so as the rains have started now, it is creating huge problem for motorists. You know, there's no way vehicles can access some of the communities. And so the only way is either you walk or you go on a motorbike. And even on the motorbike, it's a huge issue.
Yeah.
If you have to move from Hohwe through Lolobi, Ashambi, Kumase, to Abrani, to Wontumi, and beyond to Honorable Kofi Adams constituency, it is not a joke. And then from Likpe, Lolobi, Kumase, to Agbozome, through to Likpe Mate, and then from Kumase to Kofrodia back to Abrani, and then Kofrodia back to Agbozome. The roads are terrible. So terrible. And the major road, the Eastern Corridor Road, when you pass Hohwe, before you get to Central Kofi, you know, we have about 6 kilometers. And I don't know how to describe it. It's a major problem. As I speak to you this morning, I spoke to the urban roads people in the region. And so this morning, as I was working, they just coming down their way. We want to have another road from Akpafu Toji that will connect Akpafu Sokpo to Adoko. Then it can link up to the district capital at Likpe Mate. And so they are going to do the survey this morning. Okay. We also want to have another road from Sandro Kofi Benoit that will hit Lolobi Kumase, continue to Agbozome, and then to the district capital in Mati. And so they'll survey these two roads. And then one other road we are looking at, Sandro Kofi Bodome, through Akpafu Mempasem to Akpafu Odomi, back to Junction. We want to fix that road as well. And so what we are planning to do after they finish the survey on all that, thank God these drip equipments are available. Once we are able to talk to the regional minister and our DC and gather the agreement, we'll get some fuel for them to start reshaping the roads at least, make them a bit motorable now until government comes in. What we also want to do, some of the roads that leads to the farm areas. You know, this is you see people carrying, you know, bags of cocoa. You know, we do a lot of cocoa in that area. It's a rainforest. And so you see people say carrying cocoa over miles, you know, to the community. And so what we want to do is to have some road cuts in there so that these tricycles can go there to cut food, you know, from the farms back to the communities. So we will survey all those roads and get proper link. And until we do these connections I'm talking about, this road connections I'm talking about, it'll be very difficult. Because if you're coming from Akpafu Toji, for instance, trucks don't go there, taxis don't go there. The only means of transportation are these motorbikes, or you have to walk and climb the mountain. Now, if you have to go to the district capital in Likpe Mate, you have to take a motorbike from Toji to Mempasem. Then you pick a taxi through Sandro Kofi to Hohwe. From Hohwe, then you pick another car before you head towards Likpe Mate. You know, so once we get a road from Toji, that hits Akpafu Sokpo and then to Adoko. Then through there, you can enter Bala, and then you are on your way to the district capital. Or the one from Sandro Kofi Benoit, you hit Lolobi Kumase, Agbozome, and then you are there. And so once we get this roads fixed, the next thing you now want to do is to have a district market so that people can move their goods from wherever it is to the center. As we speak now, to get even IGF in the area is a major issue. Tough. Yeah, because we don't have any market, we don't have any railway station, we don't have anything. It's a completely new area, gray, everything is gray. And so we'll still continue to appeal to corporate Ghana, anybody touched with a sad story to come in. Our schools are in very terrible states. If you get to Likpe Mate, as I speak to you right now, we have a major school. This school I was told was built somewhere in the 50s. And as I speak to you now, the roof is completely off. And so when the rain started, they don't have to rush back to their homes. You know, we've written to get funds. We want them to come in and see how they can assist that. Our proposal, I took some people there to go and assess the structure and everything. The advice is that we pull down the entire structure and then we build something new. You go to Akwafu Setek, they don't even have a kitchen, so they cook under some misfit structure. It's really, really terrible. They don't have a dining hall, and it's that bad. You go to St. Mary, we have 3 secondary schools in the district, Akwafu Setek, St. Mary's, and Lobby Secondary School. There are a lot of dotted, uncompleted projects around St. Mary's. The last time I was there, if you look at the dining hall where the children are eating, we have almost close to over 1,000 students on campus. In a very small structure, some of them are outside in the corridor. They are holding their plates in their hands and they are eating. It's not conducive at all, and so we need to be able to fix some of those structures. We have 1 clinic in the whole district. As I said, we have only 1 doctor, the whole district. And this doctor now was from Likwebala Polyclinic. We want to elevate that clinic to a district hospital. Unfortunately, water is a major problem there. And as I speak to you right now, I've started a major water project. We've built a structure. We are trying to connect the pipes to the houses of the health workers and then to the walls. Once we do these things, I'm sure the Ministry of Health and Health will come in to assist us to elevate the status to a district hospital, so properly called. Currently, if anybody is sick, the only place you can access healthcare is Howe Hospital, right? Or you go to Jaskan Hospital. And we have a few cheap compounds in some of the communities. I visited Akwafu Adoko recently, and we don't have a maternity ward attached to the cheap compound. And so anytime mothers were in labor, they have to pick a taxi, all the way to Howe before they can access it. And so I went in there, we had a conversation with opinion leaders. We get some small seed money. Okay, let's start something on our own and see if we can get other people to come and help us. You go to Sandro Kofi Bume. We need to set up a lab so that at least some basic tests could be done there before when you have to do some complex issues, you can move to maybe a Howe or Ho to go and do it. So we need a lab. We don't have hospital beds almost in all the clinics. You go to Akwafu cheap compound, we don't have anything over there. Akwafu Domi, the same problem. My major concern, as I speak to you right now, is how to get every community to get at least a teacher's bungalow. Because the problem is that housing is a major, major problem in this area. And so most of the teachers who are posted there, they stay in Howe. And the roads are so terrible. By the time they get a motorbike from Howe to their school, sometimes they get there, it's already 10 a.m. By 1 o'clock, they're in a hurry to check out. But once you have teachers' bungalows in there, they will stay in the community and teach. You go to a whole school. I went to Akwafu Domi basic school recently. And from class 1 all the way to GSS 3, we have only 3 professional teachers. So it's the young boys and girls from the community who are assisting. I don't think it's healthy enough. And so I'm aware Lolobi Kofrodria, they themselves, the community has taken an initiative. They began a teachers' bungalow project over there. I'll move into go and see what I can do to assist them. But we need to replicate it in all the communities that we have. If you go to Lekpe Avejeme, they don't have a school at all. And so for students to have access to education, they need to walk either from Avejeme to Lekpe Agbozome or to Bakwa or to Lekpe Mate.
Wow.
And this is a distance. And these children, some of them as low as 4 years, 5 years, they are left at the mercy of the weather. And so they don't even have access to the nursery education. So they'll start doing this at 4 years. They have to walk before they get to the place. When they are Kata type, they are beaten by the rain. The sun is very hot up there. They are on it. So we need to build a school in Likpe Avejeme. And then we need to build another school too in Akwafu Sokpo. They also don't have a school. And from Sokpo to Adoko community. Brother, it's not a small journey. And every time you drive on that road or you walk on that road, you see them, going to and fro. So the interest to even go to school in Israel becoming a major, major, major challenge for them. So these are the things that we want to work on. Of course, agriculture is a major activity in the area. So how we can enhance agricultural activities. As for unemployment, it's a major, major, major issue. You go there, most of the youth are just, sitting down idle. There's very little for them to do. And so we have a lot of work to do in the Guan enclave. I will continue to appeal to anybody touch. If you finish this program, you come and say, Fred, come and take some 5 bags of cement, come and take some roofing sheet. I'll gladly run to you and come and take it. My brother, it will interest you to know that you go to most of these schools, they don't even have a computer. So you go a teacher who is teaching, they are still sketching, things on chalkboard. This day and age, Last Monday, I took an NGO from Accra here. There are some partners in Australia, so they came down. I took them to Akwafu sector to go introduce the children access to this coding and this, elementary things about new artificial intelligence and what have you. They were very impressed and they were very much interested. But again, they need computers, to have a befitting computer lab. This is the secondary school I'm talking about. And for primary and GSS, every day the teachers are calling. The district director that we even brought in recently, a place to even accommodate her is a problem. And so we are struggling in her office. I have to move in there to quickly organize some money to even buy furniture for her office. There's nothing there. She doesn't even have a vehicle to move about. And so she's at one place in Lolobi, Kumasi. So I'll use this platform to appeal to anybody touched by the Republic of South situation and want to come in to assist us. To do so, we need to give life, we need to give hope back to the people of that area. I am very certain that when the system settles down, most of this will be attended to. The programs and initiatives that the president has launched, we have put teams in place to assist the local people to be able to take advantage of this thing. So far, so very good. I can see hope. I can say that the situation is going to change, and it must change whichever way. And we'll continue to write to agencies, departments, organizations, including your very self, to come and assist us so we can bring life back to the place.
It's what we call contributing your widow's mite.
That's right.
I've just seen, in fact, Honorable has just given me some indication that he would also support Honorable Michael Akosiedu.
My brother, I'm going to see you.
Yes. He was touched by the things you said. And so,
the place was virtually denied, when the Oti region was created in 2019. The original were part of Volta region and Hohwe municipality. And so we're carved out. And so we didn't belong to Volta region. We didn't belong to the Hohwe municipality. We were not part of Jessica. We were just, 4 traditional areas. We're just on our own. There is nothing, there's nothing you can point to that since 2019, there's been government intervention in any of the communities. Nothing. Zero. If you go there and you see anything you want to call development, it's the people themselves who are contributing and doing their own thing, trying to fix their roads here and there, trying to fix their schools, trying to fix their clinic and what have you. Nothing really going on there. And so we can't live as part of Ghana. We need to be able to come in, we need to assist them, we need to give the young people who are growing up from those communities, that confidence that they also belong to the nation called Ghana and might benefit from the goodies of the nation.
I mean, when we're rolling out our development plans and initiatives, sometimes I wonder whether we see all these. Sometimes I wonder, because it appears that there's a disproportionate distribution of resources of this world across the board. So you realize that in some places, there's a lot of development happening there. In some places, either zero or abysmally low.
Well, maybe just my brother comes in.
So we're not distributing the cake.
I think we are centered more in the capital cities.
Exactly.
Yeah, so that is why this urbanization that we are complaining about. Because when a child even completes GSS in the village, it's as if there's no hope, there's nothing. So let me head to Accra, let me head to Kumasi. And so you create urbanization, you create a problem that comes with it. What we need to do, the decentralization that we say we are doing, we need to give it full meaning.
Absolutely.
What we mean by decentralization. Every part of this country should have a good school, should have a good hospital, they should have motorable roads, some agriculture activities should be enhanced, some factories should be there. So once the people know that these things are very close to them, nobody is interested in coming to Accra, nobody is interested in coming to Kumasi. In those days, you have to come to Lagos or Tech for access university education. By the grace of God, now we have UHAS that is close to that place. We have a campus in Ho, we have one in Hohwe, I think there's one in Keta. OT region now, we don't have a university. President Mahama has promised that he's going to give us one university over there. And so for me, we need to pay attention to the decentralization concept that we have brought. I am very happy with the decision that this government has taken, that the District Assembly Common Fund, 80% of that money must go to the district, so that the district will take a decision as to what they want to do with it. Can you imagine what would have happened to this country when the $1 million that was promised every constituency, assuming they delivered on that promise? Every political country will change by now. Because if I take $1 million to my district, My brother, who fees at least most of the roads will become more trouble. Agriculture activities will be enhanced. The schools will be fees, the hospitals will be fees. And so let us distribute the wealth we have cleanly so that every part of this country will benefit. Once they benefit, they contribute to our GDP and Ghana moves on.
Oh, Doc, let me introduce you traditionally as we do here. You know, I brought you in because I wanted you to sort of contribute to what Honorable was saying. But let me just say that Michael Akwesi Edu is the Member of Parliament for the Oforikrom constituency. And he's also joined us, of course, representing the NPP. And I'm sure a lot of things that Honorable was saying, your colleague on the other side was saying, is something that you can relate to. I mean, you also come from a typical rural...
No.
Or yours is not a typical rural constituency, right? It's more urban.
Yes.
Okay, so you have your own set of challenges,
Yes.
not exactly what he's saying, which is the water,
So the
electricity.
dynamics are quite different.
Yeah, the dynamics are quite different. Okay, but it poses his own, or it presents his own set of challenges.
Every constituency has its own challenges.
Yeah.
And quite interestingly, it all boils down to resources.
Yeah.
So normally, you would expect that the government will come in with developmental projects and other things, but sometimes it delays.
It delays.
And the challenges with the urban settlements, like our constituency, is the fact that the populations are huge. For instance, I have a population of more than 300,000 people. Yeah. I have a population of more than 300,000 people and a voter population of more than 100,000. We are the third largest in Ashanti region. So when it comes to sharing the national cake, maybe someone in a rural area might feel that, well, they are not getting enough. But then those of us in the urban, because of our population, you also realize that you are still lacking, even though sometimes you get a little of the national cake. For our constituency, the challenge that we have mainly are rules and employment. Rules and employment. We've been able to do quite a number of them over the last year, but then last 4 years. But then we still have challenges because the constituency keeps growing and it keeps expanding. And that's the same problem that we have in most urban areas. Like when you come to Accra, Accra continues to expand. So as it expands into new areas, then there is the need for government to come in to do more development. And I believe it's an ongoing process. We are still not done. We are developing the nation, and I'm hoping that this government will be able to support all of us adequately so that our constituencies come to the level that we all expect.
All right. And in the case of Honorable Frederick Benyo, the pressure is even more mounting. It's more, in fact,
this constituency is a new constituency. Yes. I think.
Yeah. And that
the
aside,
constituency is how many years old?
Oh,
well, it was
5 months old.
yes,
Yeah,
it's
I
mean, after we created the constituency, 5 months old.
So
So you should expect some of these challenges. I know constituencies that were formed within the Kufuor government, some were formed within the Mills government. And some of these constituencies didn't have anything at all. But after they were created into constituencies and later they got district assemblies so that the decentralization of the funds from the district common fund comes down straight to them. Then they started seeing a lot of development and changes within this country. So I believe that with time, as he always says it in Parliament, Republic or so, will have their fair share of the national
cake. Of the national cake. And in his case, the task is even more daunting because the natural expectation of the citizens who live there or the constituents are that your party is in government. And so it should be easier, relatively or comparatively, to lobby Governors Agboja and Akando and so on for them to come to your aid. They won't understand it if you tell them that you've been struggling.
His mother is from our area,
okay.
Place.
So in his
I
case,
told her if you don't come and face it, you will not cross over to your place.
You know, so
and I'm sure you will come to our aid.
Yeah. I mean, so the pressure is more. The pressure is more. Anyway, so let's look at some developments which have been happening in the last 48 to 24 hours or so, and bring you some updates on what's been happening with the Ashanti Regional Chairman of your party. That's, Chairman Wontumi. Now, yesterday, Yoko apparently granted him a bail, but whether that bail he was able to, fulfill the terms of the bail or not is another matter. So we'll get there. But Ebenezer Kyampong is reporting that Ashanti Regional Chairman of the New Patriotic Party, Bernard Chibuesiakon, also known as Chairman Wontumi, has been granted bail following his arrest by the Economic and Organized Crime Office, Yoko. Mr. Andy Apiakubi, lawyer for Wontumi, who confirmed the developments on the matter in an interview on NEET FM yesterday on Accra, said although he granted late Tuesday night, the legal team was unable to fulfill the bail conditions in time, leaving his client in custody overnight on Tuesday. According to Mr. Apiakubi, his client fell sick during the interrogation and had to seek medical attention at a hospital under Yoko's supervision. Meanwhile, Daily Guys learned that Chairman Wontumi has been granted a bail condition after meeting all the processes by his legal team yesterday at Yoko's office in Accra. He also dismissed reports suggesting that his client was mishandled by Yoko officers, as he commended the officers, particularly the Executive Director, Raymond Acha, for the exceptional professional conduct towards them during the entire process. Chairman Wontumi was officially cautioned last Monday for his alleged involvement in illegal mining operations through his company, Akonta Mining, in a forest reserve without a license, as well as polluting water bodies. The Ashanti Regional Chairman's appearance at the Criminal Investigation Department of the Police Service on Monday, May 26, 2025, follows a failed attempt by a team of national security operatives and police officers who had stormed his residence to arrest him. Police CID in a press release on Monday said Mr. Chibuesiakon, in the company of his lawyers, wrote a formal statement for his alleged involvement in illegal mining operations and was subsequently granted bail with 2 sureties. Now, later in an interview with journalists, he denied the allegations leveled against him and said he has over the years been engaged in responsible mining. So basically, he spent 2 nights at Yoko. Michael, have you been in touch with him, with Andy Apia? Could be anybody close to him? What do you also know?
Moro, it's quite unfortunate, the situation that Yoko is putting the regional chairman of the New Patriotic Party, our chairman, into.
Right.
Yesterday, I had the opportunity to speak to one of his spokespersons,
okay.
That's Paul Yando,
okay.
The regional communication director, and he made me aware that Chairman Wontumi was still languishing in Yoko cells because they couldn't fulfill the bail conditions. And I got quite surprised because currently I don't really know what crime he's committed. I don't think anybody knows the crime that he's committed.
Is it illegal? Apparently he was involved in illegal mining.
So there are different issues.
Okay.
I think he was first invited by the CID, which he responded to and attended to their call, because the CID had indicated that it was in relation to some mining issues, which of course Chairman Wontumi had earlier come out that he had license to operate those mining sites and that he had not committed any illegality. And I remember quite recently the Minister for Lands issued a statement where he was revoking Chairman Wontumi's license.
Yeah.
I believe if you don't have a license which is legally acquired, the minister will not revoke. So the minister's press conference in which he revoked the license shows me or tells me that Chairman Wontumi rightly so had a license which was obtained legally. He was invited by the CID, which is right, because if the CID suspects any wrongdoing, they will invite you. And the CID had the opportunity to question him on those issues. So they scheduled him for the next day to continue with whatever investigation they are doing. And my cursory look at what our law says is that if the CID has any suspicions, they would invite you, especially if it's not a crime. If you've committed a crime, then they might cause an arrest. But if it's not a crime and it's maybe a civil issue, they might invite you. And if you look at the issues, a company that is doing illegal mining and then you have an issue with the company, the best way is to invite the company and then have discussions with the company. Today, if Newmont, there's suspicion that Newmont has done anything within their enclave, that is not right. I don't think anybody will go and arrest the directors and bring them and keep them in cells. I think the first step is to invite the company and sit with the company, do your investigation. So normally the police CID will do what they call the cautionary statement. They'll take your cautionary statement. And then after, if they suspect any form of crime after your investigation, then they may arrest you. And normally they will give you a police inquiry bail, which if you're able to fulfill, then you can go home. But then that will be within 48 hours. So he was invited by the CID, and after the conversations, they asked him to come the next day. As a good citizen, he appeared the next day at 3 o'clock. But, Moro, you know this country. Even me, if you ask me to come at 3 o'clock, I know that there will definitely be, especially he being a politically exposed person. The government will try to do these shenanigans and try to push you in, because I had heard from some of our colleagues on the other side in the NDC say that even the first invitation was not enough. They expected him to be locked up. So true to it, the next day he came, he appeared before the CID, and then he was bundled up into a car. I listened to some journalists talking about how the incident happened. Apparently, when he was leaving the police headquarters, he sat in his car, and then they blocked him with 3 cars, moved him out of his car, moved his lawyer also out of the car, and then drove him off to Yoko. And as it stands now, Yoko has not issued any formal statement as to why he has been arrested. That's why I said we do not know what crime he has committed as it stands now. It's just speculations in the public that he might do with some loan facility that he took with Exim Bank. Even if that is so, if he took a loan facility with Exim Bank between one of his companies, it will be contractual. And in a contractual issue, I believe that Exim Bank has the right to proceed to court, which, of course, I've heard people saying that Exim Bank went to court. So whatever it is, it might even be civil. But if it is civil, does it warrant that he is arrested the way he was arrested and kept in cells for more than 24 hours, running into 48 hours? These are some of the questions that we need to ask. But be as it may, our brothers, I think today, they are out to take their pound of flesh, because they believe that in the past, some of these things may have happened to some of their people, which may be unfortunate, or which is unfortunate. But then, is this how we want to run the country? The campaign that they mounted was a campaign that made people believe that things were going to change. You see, there are people who are in the brackets of the youthful brackets of the 18 years to 20 years and so on, who did not even witness their past administration. So the only source of judgment that they used in the last election was what they saw within the Akufo-Addo government. So if you give those people hope for them to vote for you, and today you start to exhibit the same old tendencies, what you stand to do is you let people begin to lose trust in the political class. And we are hoping that today, where they have pegged the bail condition, about 50 million cedis, we are hoping that today our party leaders will come together and be able to get Chairman Wontumi out of Yoko. So currently, that is where we stand at the moment. But I personally, I don't know the crime he's committed. I don't know what they are charging him for. Because I believe that if anything at all, when he was being arrested or when he was being detained in Yoko, they should have told him what crime he's committed and per our laws, what they are charging him for. But if it's just investigations for something that, in my opinion, I think is civil, based on the information I'm getting from the spokesperson, then I do not think that what they are doing is right. I think they are using a sledgehammer to kill a fly at this moment.
Okay. And to some extent, I agree with you with the clarity that ought to be brought to the process. The CID, as we've known them to have done in the past, and would expect them to do the same, which is to keep us updated on exactly why they've invited him and what are questioning him over, what are the charges the charges they brought against him, and so on, if indeed there are any such charges. But for now, it's turned out to be a bit speculative.
Very speculative.
And we're now depending on what the lawyers or persons around them are telling us.
Exactly.
And it doesn't help the conversation. So I don't know what you make of this, Honorable.
Well, we are in a democracy. And so it's important that the rights of all Ghanaians are protected and are respected by institutions that we have set up to do so. We as a nation have decided that we need the police, we need the CID, we need the NIB, we need the YOCO, we need the special prosecutor. We believe all these institutions, when they function effectively, it will help to govern ourselves well, it will help to check crime in our society, and that is why we have set them up. So at no point should we turn our back and say, this institution should not work. I am not one suggesting that if we have a cause to believe that they are not doing their work well, we shouldn't criticize them. But we all know the way they go about their work. We know the way they are functioning in time past. Some of us have had a cause to maybe complain or criticize them and said that, can we do things differently? You know, you can invite people without necessarily going through the Rambo style that, we know that they normally will apply to things like that. But I am not a security expert. When you interact with them, when you engage them, they will tell you why sometimes they will do some of those things. And they are not doing it for the optics, they are not doing it to intimidate anybody. But it's part of, their operations. When Mr. Wontumi was invited, I believe he went to the police CID with his lawyers. Is that not so?
Yeah.
When he ended up finally at Yoko, he was there too with his lawyers. And so I don't think anybody would just invite Mr. Wontumi to any police station without first of all telling him why they have invited him, and if they have to charge him, and then take his statement before they have to grant him a bail, they grant him a bail. I'm sure they've gone through that entire process. And if you put his lawyers on the line, they should be able to confirm that he went through the due process as enshrined in our laws and our criminal whatever it is. So to suggest that it's the political party that is trying to take his pound of flesh, I don't think it's healthy. He made an allegation there, says some NDC people saying that, would have wished that he's locked up. And I thought we were going to ask him to substantiate that. Why? See,
I've heard about Nuruddin.
From where I sit.
I've seen Honorable Plus posts on his Facebook wall that even John Mahama has been lenient on him, and that the first day that he reported, he should have been put in cells. I've seen a lot.
You see, if we are going to follow what... Can I continue, please? If we are going to just follow what people have said on social media, I can put videos of NPP members and the things they have said about this arrest. Some of them even insulting their party members for accompanying Wontumi to the police CID headquarters, and that they should leave him alone. And that Wontumi was the reason why they lost massive nationality region. Your own people. That one you have not heard. That one you have not seen. You see, let us stop politicize crime in this country. Let's stop politicizing crime. Let's stop politicizing crime in this country. When an individual has done something wrong and is supposed to face the law, let's just allow him to face the law. Nobody is going to kill him. Nobody is going to infringe on his rights. My brother is saying that doesn't know Wontumi's offense. We're in this country, under your government, when your sector minister accused Wontumi of mining in a forest reserve. Have you forgotten?
Yeah.
Your sector minister accused Wontumi of mining the forest reserve.
Which minister?
And even went ahead to say that Wontumi was mining there without appropriate documentations. We all heard it. It took the president there, President Akufo-Addo, to come and clear him and his company that we were not doing anything wrong.
You're referring to the Tano and Emery forest.
That's right. If at the time your government had been minded, this is a sector minister making that allegation.
Which minister?
You don't know the minister you are appointed to Lands and Forestry. You're asking.
No, you said your sector minister.
Lands and Forestry minister, but you know who was there. Why do you want me to be the one mentioning?
Because I don't know which one you are.
When you were making allegations about NDC, did you mention anything?
About just mention names.
I have to push you to mention names. And
So
I have
I
not
also
heard
push you to
that.
mention
I am
names.
saying that he has given you the names because you know who your sector minister was. And you know who made that allegation against him. And you heard the Minerals Commission at the time. They even came out to say that they didn't give him any license to go and mine in that forest. So how down do you come back on national television and say that the mine was doing legal business? He has all the documentation. Are you saying that what your minister said at the time, he didn't know what he was saying? Are you saying that the Mineral Commission lied, that they didn't issue him any permit to enter into the forest? Are you saying that the Forest Commission lied at the time, that he entered there illegally? Have we not seen videos and pictures of Wontumi's company in these companies, in this forest? We are forcing these videos. You see, the thing we do in this country is that when your political party is in power, you tend to think that you are above the laws of this country. You can do whatever you want to do with impunity. And some way, somehow, the system will protect you. But what we don't remind ourselves of is that no condition is permanent. And that your party will not live in power forever and ever. And that a day will come when you'll be called to account for your stewardship and for all the things that you did. Why are you making it look as though Wontumi's case started today? Your own people started fighting, even Ashanti region. We all heard it. And yet the president was not interested. As usual, he cleared him, he cleared his company, and the man was doing his thing. And so if today they have invited him, first some allegations. One, about some monies that were paid to him by Cocoa Board. I'm sure you've heard those allegations.
Right.
Two, about some roads that were given to him to work on. He didn't work on the roads and what have you, yet monies were paid. I've heard some allegations about Exim Bank monies that were advanced to him to do whatever it is. I've heard allegations about his activities in the forest, the mining in the forest. Are you saying that we just allow this to just go like that? Shouldn't we give him the opportunity to come and tell his side of the story? For you know, he didn't do anything wrong. So come before the institutions mandated to do the investigation. Come and tell your story. If the Attorney General thinks that they have evidence enough to prosecute you, you go to court, your lawyers will be there. And then you go and defend yourself.
Fred, what he is saying, if I understand what he's saying, is that you may be privy to some information.
We are not.
You may.
I'm
saying may.
not.
No, I'm saying may.
Not.
That's what I'm saying.
Where you say to,
no, I'm just saying that you may.
privy.
I may. And my viewers may be privy to some information as to why Wontumi has been arrested and he's been interrogated or questioned over one reason or for breaching one law or the other. But I'm saying that wouldn't it have been a bit more tidy if the CID or the investigative bodies issue a statement and tell us that, look, yes, indeed, we can confirm that we have arrested this person, and these are the reasons why we've arrested the person. So that it takes all of us out of the realm of, it could be this, it could be that, it could be this. And that's why the two of you are debating this matter.
Do you know why? Do you know why?
Do you get the point I'm making?
I don't like it when we tend to treat some Ghanaians as special Ghanaians. Let's stop.
No, it's not
wait,
special
no,
Ghanaians.
For me,
let me land.
for me, it's not even about what
When I land, you get the point I'm making. When I land, you get the point I'm making. You see, we shouldn't create a class society. Do you know the number of people who appear at our police stations across this country every day for one reason or the other? Have we called on the police to issue statements to explain to Ghanaians why all these people come before them? Have we done that? Or the people go to Nima police station, Legon police station in Hokwe, in KJB, in Kumasi. Have we called the police so that everybody who comes before you issue a public statement and tell the people of this country why we have invited him or why we are investigating him?
Fred,
have we done that?
Fred, there's a reason why we're having there's a reason why we're having this conversation. We're having this. I want him to learn. I'm saying that there's a reason why we're having this conversation, and we're having this conversation because of the person in question. Because whether you like it or not, he's a politically exposed person. Whether you like it or not, he's a man who has some visibility. But he has some kind of influence.
Assuming Wontumi had appeared before these institutions that you have mentioned, i.e. the police CID and a Yoko, and he was not allowed to come with his lawyer, then we can be screaming and shouting here. Where we sit now, I believe you call his lawyer. The lawyer will be able to tell you why they invited Wontumi.
I don't have a problem with that.
The lawyer will be able to tell us the questions or the charges that is made against him.
Yes, but
the lawyer will be able to tell you what they're investigating.
Yeah, but Fred, I'm also saying that the police service would lose nothing
but
if it updates the citizens on what is happening with Chema Wontumi. That's what I'm saying.
But the point yes, I don't think you have.
Do you get it?
Because look, as
I'm sitting here, I'm getting tons of messages on exactly some of the supposed, I don't want to call it crime per se, because that would have to be determined by the court. But some things that Wontumi has done which are unacceptable. Do you get the point I'm making? But do I go out there and start parroting them?
The point I'm making
I may struggle because you're dealing with people's reputations and so on. So I'm just saying that. But if the police issues a statement and tells all of us that these are the facts of the matter, then you and I can sit here and have a conversation based on the information that's been given us.
But
at the moment, everything has been turned into, everything has now been turned into pure speculation.
Yes.
The man has done this, the man has done, some of which I know is not, I mean for me, some of them I know is not speculation, I know they are true. But I'm saying that in line with journalistic practices and ethics, there are certain things you would have to hold back a bit and not put them out there. But I know so much about what's happening.
Moro,
do you get the point I'm making?
Moro, the point
don't you think would have been helpful?
Yeah, it's not. It's a good call.
I'm not saying it takes anything away from what they're doing, but I'm saying that would have helped all of us.
You see, what the police and the investigative bodies are doing, I think it's a process.
Okay, that's fine.
It's a process.
Maybe at the right time.
At the right time, we can. They have a way they go about issues. They've just invited a man now. Maybe they took an information. Oh, come. Oh, we have arrested you. Let's talk about it. This is the information we have taken. Give us your statement.
Yeah.
When they have finished all those things, and they think that they have to prosecute them, like they've always been doing, they will issue a public statement. Even Attorney General recently, when he had to prosecute some people, he did a full-fledged press conference, am I lying?
Yeah.
And told the people of this country why he's going on a tangent that he's going on. The police, with that number, we have seen them issuing public statements to explain to us why they've invited somebody, or they've arrested somebody, or whatever it is that they are doing. It's a process. The good news is that Mr. Wontumi's right has not been infringed on. Nobody here can say that he was arrested, kept in the police cells for more than 48 hours, or he was arrested, he was not allowed a counsel, his own counsel to be there. All these things, nobody can say that has happened to him. I think that they have operated within the confines of the law, they have respected his human rights, allow him and his lawyers to handle this issue. Left to me alone, this is a subject I would even wish that we discussed this morning.
Okay.
To the extent it's a process.
Right.
As and when the CID or the police service think that some public communication must be done, I'm sure they'll do it.
All right.
They'll do it.
Okay. All right. Can we move on? Oh, you still have something to say?
Quite interesting. You see, we all come out and say Mr. Wontumi has done some crime in terms of the forest areas that he was mining and so on. But he has also refuted those claims. His company made a press release refuting the claims that the place that they are saying he is mined, that's the Tano in Rim Forest Reserve, he didn't mine there because his license was somewhere separate around the Samraboy area, close to the Tano in Rim Forest Reserve. And I saw the statement that was issued by Honorable Amabwa and the Minerals Commission quite recently. I read the statement, and the statement was clear. The areas that Mr. Wontumi had mining lease on. And those areas were the areas that the current Minister for Lands, revoked. So clearly, the man had a genuine mining license, which he was using. And he has come out that the area that they are saying, people are claiming he was mining there, wasn't him. So this is left for the agencies to investigate. And in any case, Moro, the framework that governs corporate governance in this country is the Companies Act. And the Companies Act stipulates that a company is a legal entity that can be sued. It's only when the directors in charge are found to have committed a crime or maybe a fraudulent issue or something that the directors, maybe the veil will be unveiled and then the directors will come in. So in any case, just invite him just as the CID did. Let him, or invite his company. The company can be represented by officers. Invite them, interrogate them, and find out what the company has been doing. After you have established that there's crime, Then you now drill down to the director. But this wasn't done. They went straight to the director. And these are some of the challenges why I'm saying that. You see, currently, the director has not been charged with anything. None of us know what he's been charged with. So it's just speculative. All the things Fred is saying are speculative.
You see the problem we have. And deliberately, I'm just trying. Wait, just a minute. You see, my brother sat here and made a categorical statement that he doesn't know why Wontumi was invited.
Right.
No, I said what we know out there is speculative and that we cannot all ascertain.
So why are you drawing
reason.
Conclusions based on those speculations? Why are you not accusing the institution?
Fred, I am not accusing the institution. What I'm saying is
you are not privy to why the man has been invited.
Fred, am I wrong?
You have said on this platform that you don't even know if the man has been charged. And
no,
I'm saying
he's not in charge.
He's not in charge. He's not in charge.
Hold it.
It's still an interrogation level.
That is why that's what I made a point earlier. That it is a process.
Currently, it's not like a civil. They've not established whether there's a crime.
You see, because you are not addressing the facts, and you don't even know why the man was invited. The monies that they are alleging that he went for from Exim Bank. The circumstance that
when we said that you may be privy to some information, you said no. And now
that is why I said that
you are speaking as if you have been briefed.
You know what I'm going to say about this. You know what I'm going to say about this.
No, Mamo, let me just land. I'm just making a point that
in order that we don't do a back and forth on this and litigate and re-litigate over this matter, all I'm trying to say is that the facts are out there. We've all read it. We've seen the Lands and Natural Resources Minister's letter.
Yes.
For that Samuel Abuji-Dapo. We've seen the Minerals Commission's letter. And now we've also heard what Chairman Wontumi has said. Yes. Let's leave the matter to the police. It's still being investigated. Otherwise, we're going to debate this matter to the kingdom.
That's the point I'm making.
Do you get the point I'm making?
But they should respect his rights.
That's a fair call. That's a very, absolutely, that's a fair call. I don't have a problem with that at all. And it's not new. We've been talking about this matter since last year.
If they had any...
It's not a new matter.
They would have put him in court to charge him. Currently, it's
my
police
brother,
inquiry.
you and I cannot come.
You
and I cannot come and sit here.
This bill is just for normal process.
You and I cannot come and sit here and determine how the police, the CIA, the Yoko will do their work. You and I don't have the power to do that determination.
Okay.
As we sit here, all of us have agreed that we are not abreast with the full facts.
Right.
It is the things we have read on the social media and the papers that all of us are speaking to. The main reason why they invited Wontumi, you don't know. I'm saying that the monies they are alleging that went for from Exim Bank, we don't know the circumstances, we don't know what he did. Assuming they're investigating him based on money laundering, assuming they're investigating based on other 45 and documents to go and take the money, you don't know all these facts. For now, we are all just speculating. So let us allow the institute to finish their investigation. When they finish, whatever must come to the public domain, I believe they will do so. But if you come and say right now and say that, oh, it's a civil case, why are they doing this? Why are they not going for some other members within the company? How do you know that is what they're investigating?
Currently, as it stands,
you don't know what they're investigating.
They've not charged him. Please. So based on the speculation,
they must finish their investigation. They must finish their investigation.
Okay.
Get his opinion before they charge him.
All right. So
let us allow the process to work.
Let me read
Who is interested in putting Wontumi behind us?
Let me read this message. And it's an important message because you recall that some time back, must have been 2022, 2023 or so, there was a group of citizens who took a decision to petition the CID over this Wontumi matter, Akonta mining, and one of them has just sent us a message. I remember at the time, I think it must have been Kwame Seydou Sapon, it was Edem Senanu, Kenashigbe, Martin Kwebu, and so on. Now, one of them has sent us a message on this matter, and this is his own take or his own reaction to the the recent development. He says, as one of the 4 signatories, and that's Kwame Sapon Seydou, he's on the CDD, he's a health, I think he's a pharmacist, basically. So he's one of the 4 signatories, as one of the 4 signatories to the petition calling for Akonta mining and Wontumi to be investigated. I must state unequivocally that I am pleased the process has started. Now, this process was commenced over 2 years ago with little progress because there was a lack of political will. Galamsey and the associated ecocide is an existential threat to our country. No man born of a woman should escape the consequences of the actions if investigations find that they have a case to answer. Let's all allow the process to establish his culpability or otherwise. Now, if there is culpability, let him have his day in court. If guilty, I care less. If he's locked up and the keys thrown away. If he's innocent, let him walk free. That said, I am not for the Rambo-style arrest or denial of bail if it won't interfere with investigations. I think 50 million cities is on the high side. Okay, so these are, and then this one here says, it's coming from Abdul Razak. He says, good morning. As far as the MP is concerned, all that the state is accusing Wontumi of is no big deal. They see those issues as business as usual. To them, there's nothing which is a crime. You, the MPP people, saying all that Yoko is doing is based on speculation. How, okay, so Elijah, I'm unable to read the other message that you've sent. And Tafa from Amran here says, good morning, Moro. I don't think that the Yoko arrest on Wontumi has got to do with his first arrest. I believe Raymond will not authorize the arrest of Wontumi on the same case that CID had already been investigating him on. I am 100% sure Wontumi arrest by the Yoko is got to do with a different case because Wontumi is allegedly involved in multiple whatever. And it says, I'm sure we'll all be shocked when the security agencies finally charge him because his alleged crimes are many. So there's quite a number of messages here, but
so, Boro,
I believe that
the point all of us are making that
we would.
It's a process.
Okay.
Let's allow the institutions to do their work.
That's fine.
To the extent that his rights have not been infringed on.
Okay.
Let us allow the institution.
All right.
Don't stop accusing them. Because maybe all the things you are saying right now, when the full facts are put before you.
Right, today is not on your foot. So that's how you say it. But then you arrest somebody who willingly committed himself to
it's pushing me to remind him. It's pushing me to remind him of the many things that you did not hold it. You see, and I'm trying to stay away, but you are pushing me to do that.
The person presented himself to the police. Then now you put him in cells and peg his bail at 50 million. Who will be able to?
But what they have to pay a 50 million bail
of 50 million.
50 million bail. Is it cash you're supposed to give? No, is it a cash you're supposed to give? It's not cash.
It's not cash.
A bail is not money. What are you saying?
Those who are coming, the sureties who are coming, will have to show that they'll be able to get a surety.
Why you think that Wontumi who says the governor of Kumasi doesn't have the means to show that? Didn't Wontumi tell that there's the richest person in this country is in Kumasi? He cannot give 50 million. So the fact that he said that means that the man has the property to ensure it. What is your problem? As you told you that he's struggling to get the surety.
So all we can say is that
so I look at you today because you are wearing tie and suit, then I determined that Fred is very rich.
The man said he's the governor of Kumasi. The man said he's the richest man in Kumasi. The man said has property all over the place. Have you forgotten? Fred, you want me to remind you?
What has politicians not said in this country?
Master, allow Wontumi to have his day. Allow Mr. Bernard Wontumi to have his day in court and with the police investigative.
But the right thing must be done.
Which wrong thing has been done?
All right.
You've not mentioned any wrong thing that has been done so far.
So let's look at some other issues which, for me, it's first of all, it's shocking. But it's I don't know what other word to use. I'll look at that story short. But we'll take a short break. We'll take a short break. When we come back, so we can have time for this matter. It has to do with this supposed self-styled medical doctor. You're watching Good Morning Ghana.
I have about 100 houses. You go to others. There's some place I have built about 69 houses, and my houses, you can see. Where are them? It's not about boasting here and there. Where are them? Where is the identity? Where can they see them? Anything they have, I have more. I'm the governor of the Ashanti. I have more. Ashantis, that is why they say Ashantis are proud. Ashantis are proud because everybody, if you can see a watchman, he will do the watchman to build and say, this is my house. So go to the whole distance and look for their houses.
MGO Logistics and Supply is your trusted partner, providing seamless solutions for all your procurement needs. From sourcing products to managing imports and exports, we ensure smooth and efficient transactions every step of the way. Whether you require goods from across the globe or need assistance in exporting your products to international markets, we got you covered. General trading is at the heart of our expertise. We specialize in a wide range of products, catering to various industries and markets. As a trusted dealership in building materials, we provide high-quality products that meet the demands of our construction projects. Additionally, we act as manufacturers' representatives, connecting producers with distributors. Our expertise in logistics is the backbone of our operations. We plan and execute transportation and delivery of goods, ensuring they reach their destination on time and in optimal condition. MGO Logistics and Supply, guaranteed satisfaction.
Mommy.
Michelle say, fe.
Different era, better result. Time has changed and time has brought Kel Charcoal Toothpaste, healthy gums, anti-cavity, fresher breath, and it whitens teeth. Kel Charcoal Toothpaste, Sankofa.
Yenchi, Kel Chocolate Toothpaste.
Happy smile.
This advert is FDA approved.
Where to get polytank?
Oh, and you're fine.
Go straight.
Oh, I want to left, right.
And that's right. Ghana na ye wono. So when you do more, and ye data. Oh no! Abe, na here. Me pe polytank ato. And you think I'm in here by you to be able to buy you. Oh, food to be here. And enjoy you kura.
Akuya bulambu kotoman. Emuha.
Like they take took my eyes. Came to me and took go to the distributor and you give the original polytank. Polytank. You hear the sound?
Polytank. Papananka Sankasa.
I'm a branch manager. Of course, I accept only quality and affordable printed souvenirs for my promotional campaigns.
I'm the head of academic affairs of a very important institution in Ghana. Of course, we only deal with quality, reliable printing companies for our institution's printing materials. I'm talking about appointed time printing.
Appointed Time Printings. We take pride in our extensive print scope that transform your ideas into captivating visual masterpieces. We delve into the core objectives and vision of each print project. Precision printing is at the heart of our printing process as we meet your tight deadlines. Our rigorous inspection, color verification, and overall printing excellence are assured. 20 years of printing excellence. It's always a pleasure working with you to create a vibrant, dazzling printing experience that gives you a masterpiece. Appointed Time Printing, your world of quality and affordable printing.
Cratchy, unemu bua unkoisha Dr. Ban uye denwa.
Oh, Missy Yamfan come and me burua.
Mami go bro. Don't tell me ko bra. Mumi Yamfan ko Dr. Ban ho. Dr. Ban o ya de. Bra, se ban no mpemu adwuma sasabro sro Dr. Ban o ye.
Say ni kemi kwa na meka. Oh no mpemu nimdi ono na ye expect nya zanfo no. O akra any Kumasi no mpemu expect yen kan kire.
Wabedum time aso. Hey, Jay. Watch it, na learning. Missy, watch and learn. Makwaya mabesisia. Abozege. Akache say no ya konate and the more drink woman. Hey. But I didn't mean. Oh, sorry. She knew her old dish. Eji. Dabi o, baby wom. Ready? Hey, baby wom. Ah, Ajay. I'll cause some discomfort. Ah. Sorry, uncle, where would the dad? Why your funeral? At your phone for Aerofield Trading. Sorry, it killed them all.
No mum share nanda danya was mosquito call esudu womunumu. Na say spray with them musa. Chaisima edronum ansana ko dynamo.
And Kratoi FDA Ajatum.
Join the president of EBID and other leading development experts live on June 3rd, 2025 from 11 a.m. GMT on Metro TV Ghana, DSTV Channel 277 and EBID's digital platforms for the President's Roundtable on Unlocking Food Security in West Africa through Agricultural Transformation. Having financed over $113 million in agriculture and agribusiness projects and programs to build resilient food systems across the ECOWAS sub-region, EBID has prioritized tackling food insecurity in the sub-region in its Strategy 2025 with the aim of assisting member states to attain SDG 2 and SDG 3. Dr. George Ejekum Donko, President and Chairman of the Board of Directors of EBID, will be joined by leading development experts to discuss and share their collective experiences and perspectives on addressing food security challenges in West Africa, as well as finding innovative ways to ensure food resilience in the region. ECOWAS Bank for Investment and Development. EBID, transforming ECOWAS communities.
This is Health and Life with Dr. Daly.
Health and Life with Dr. Daly.
Don't be one of those people who made all the money and are using all the money to pay bills. When you bring it, we'll take it because we're here to take care of you. This is Health and Life with Dr. Daly. My name is Dr. Ann Sansa Daly. This is Health and Life with Dr. Daly. My name is Dr. Ann Sansa Daly. 0800-678-678. And this is the National Suicide Prevention Helpline. This is Health and Life with Dr. Daly.
Health and Life with Dr. Daly.
Don't be one of those people who made all the money and are using all the money to pay bills. When you bring it, we'll take it because we're here to take care of you. This is Health and Life with Dr. Daly. My name is Dr. Ann Sansa Daly. This is Health and Life with Dr.
Anne Sally. What's the full name? Anne Sally Daly. It's a very powerful name. Anne Sally Daly. Anyway, so there's something you want to say briefly before we move on to our next issue. Can we move on?
Yeah, I think I'll move on to the Wontumi issue. I've said that.
Okay.
Let us allow the process to continue.
All right.
There are several Ghanaians who have appeared before Yoko. I can tell you for a fact. You see, some of us are just trying to stay away from this equalization thing and mentioning people's name on set, especially when they are not here. If I tell the things that people have gone through with Yoko, if you go to Yoko, what has changed over there? It's the same structure that was there that you presided over. If anything, it's just the head that has changed. And it's the same way they do their things that they are doing their things. And that's why you presided over the number of NDC appointees who appear before Yoko. If you want to tell, you have no idea. And all of them too could have organized people to mass up at the place and do all the things that they did. But people went there quietly, to go and tell their stories. And so when it's your turn and you think that you can mass up people, you can do all the things that you did. Now very soon, when we start going back to Ayawa's wagon issue, they will come back here and tell us that, witch hunting, whatever it is. When you had opportunity to have dealt with that issue conclusively, you didn't do it. And somebody now comes, you want to handle it, then you come back here and come and start complaining. And really, sometimes when I hear my brother from MVP, the way they speak about these issues, I get really, really hurt. It's as if they have forgotten the things they did not too long ago, right? We don't want to do equalization. Let us build a democracy. Let this country move on. If somebody, for instance, allegedly goes to a bank to go and take a loan that is going to plant maybe rice, and it comes out that he didn't plant the rice, he didn't buy the equipment, what he did on his own prior to accepting the loan, for which he has made a certificate of being the best farmer, is what is available. But after he got the loan, he didn't go back to the land. You think that must not be investigated? You think it's nothing? You think
is that the latest information you've picked up as
I've
why
said,
Wontumi
we are all picking all manner of information.
wasn't arrested?
We can't put this out because yes, you want to protect
it out.
But you start here, you put a lot of things
out. You're putting it out because
and you kept on pushing me. You kept on pushing me
that
to
he
talk.
took a loan from Exim.
Can you allow me to land? Can you let me just land?
You have some information on this Exim Bank.
You see, has information.
Collateral.
All of us put out the information you have.
Hold on. I want to understand the story. You mean Wontumi went for a loan from Exim Bank? How much? How much did he go for?
My information is that about $7 million.
About $7 million cedis. 7 million cedis.
From
Exim Bank.
It's about dollars,
yes, that's
right?
the information I got from his
Oh, it's not cedis, my brother.
It's 7 million cedis from his spokesperson.
And also you have this information?
From his spokesperson.
Okay.
To the extent that he even won the best farmer for the district.
That was prior.
In 2019.
Was it before he went for the loan or after he went for the loan?
No, that's not true. He won the best farmer.
Exim Bank appointed a farm manager for him. Exim Bank appointed a farm manager for him.
Okay.
The loan that he took, he submitted the collateral. The Exim Bank made him insure the loan and all these things. So these are contractual issues.
Okay.
I am saying that.
These are contractual issues.
So allow him to appear for the investigative bodies, right?
It doesn't have to go through this Rambo style.
Which Rambo style?
He's going to kill somebody.
All right.
No.
Okay.
You know, I am happy that he said that we shouldn't do this politics of equalization. But you see, when you talk about pain, people also harbor pains in them from the excesses between 2009 to 2017. And are we going to continue the same cycle? That's the question
it is only when you are in opposition that you call for a seizure. When you are in a position, we should continue.
At what point does it stop? When you are calling for that you should stop politics of equalization now,
as for my brothers,
because
my brothers
if you continue this way, then maybe one day when you go into opposition, then the same system will continue.
As my brothers in opposition, they should just thank God. They should thank God that today we have President Mahama as the president of this country. A man who is not vindictive.
Okay.
A man who just let go of things.
Okay.
If really President Mahama was to be a vindictive person, and you want to go and pick all the things Wontumi has said in this country, my brother, wouldn't be here.
Okay.
Wouldn't be here. You know some of the things.
But you know, if you are talking about
Wontumi can sit on his own radio and television and call that even the president's daughter be raped.
But
will you be having somebody go on television and rape your daughter?
Of the political
no, you see, for me,
that we will not destroy a whole political.
We are not going to take any lessons. We are not going to take any lessons from you people on this matter.
All right.
We are not.
Nobody is saying that
the institutions
has done something
allow
wrong.
the institutions to work. Yes, so allow
but
the
the manner is being done.
Which way?
It
Which
has
manner?
to be done so that we don't
when did you realize
infringe
that?
On his rights.
When you went to George Napo's house, Minister of Energy, to this house, with soldiers and police and the rest, nice to operate, you have forgotten. The current Attorney General, I know the things you did. I don't want to go there. Don't push me there.
Is it right?
We know the things I did in the past. So
Fred,
don't ask me any higher moral.
We can go back into the past and tell you between 2017 and 2017. So
Wontumi should be thanking God that the CID invited him. Nobody arrested him.
Let's move
CID invited him. He went there in his beautiful car. You know, having fun. When he finished, the media was there. He spoke to the media.
To the security agencies on his own accord.
Iyoko, you don't know why. You don't know why Iyoko picked him up at that point.
Okay.
If Iyoko invites you to come, maybe they have sent you letters 2 times, 3 times, and you have refused to come.
Okay.
And they hear that you have
there is no evidence that you have refused to come.
You see,
no,
you sat on this platform. You said you are not privy to all the information.
There is no evidence that he was given an invitation.
So how do you know what they are saying?
Okay.
The invitation was
if they invite you, if they invite you to come to Yoko 2 times, 3 times, you didn't go. And this morning they see you on this television set. By the time you finish, you'll be waiting downstairs. They'll pick you up.
Okay. Yoko
You don't know why
that invitation that they gave him. Because I have the police invitation that they gave him. That he went to the
Oh, so you really have a lot of information.
So
why are you not questioning? If you have a lot of information, why are you not questioning?
The police invitation is out to the public.
Yes.
If Yoko invited him and he didn't go, Yoko should bring it out.
Okay. Well, let us proceed. Let Governor Richmond Wontumi handle himself at a place. He's the governor. He's the richest person.
Look at how you are treating the whole governor. How you are treating the whole governor.
Gold. For the first time we saw gold bars on television.
You see, you are not seeing gold bars before. Now look at how you are treating the whole governor.
So governor is just there to do his own thing. Let me have his space. He's having fun.
Wontumi will be fine. He's rich and powerful.
He's a very rich and powerful man. Hey.
So let's look at this other story. So Mahama revokes Sansadali, who's a NHI board appointment. And the story here is by Ebenezer K. Amponsa of the Daily Guide. And it says President John Dramani Mahama has revoked the appointment of Sansadali from the board of the National Health Insurance Authority. A statement issued and signed by the Secretary to the President, Kalisus Mahama, said the President has nominated Professor Dr. Enes York to replace her as a member of the board. The termination of her appointment comes in the wake of growing concerns from health professionals and the public over her lack of a valid license to practice medicine in Ghana. Professor Enes York, her replacement, is a seasoned physician and current vice president of the Ghana Medical Association. He is expected to bring his vast experience and leadership to strengthen the NHIA board's oversight. The NHIA board plays a critical role in shaping policy and overseeing the management of Ghana's National Health Insurance Scheme, which is central to the delivery of healthcare service to millions of Ghanaians. Now, there have been several other, this is the letter revoking her appointment on the board. I mean, of course, there have been some other statements which have been issued. For instance, this one is from the Health Ministry that says, clarification on appointment and swearing in of Sansadali to the National Health Insurance Authority Board. And it says the Ministry of Health has taken note of a publication on Graphic Online regarding the appointment and swearing in of Ms. Sansadali. Her name is such a mouthful, as a member of the National Health Insurance Authority Board. Now, the ministry wishes to categorically deny the allegations contained in the said publication and to present the facts as follows. 3, a letter appointing Ms. Sansadali along with other members of the board was issued on 19th May 2025. Subsequently, a letter dated 23rd May 2025 was issued by the appropriate authority. Now, this second letter revoked her appointment and appointed her replacement. It is important to clarify that Ms. Dali was not sworn in on the 27th of May 2025. That's according to the statement by the Health Ministry. I may have to look at this. It's important. Let me just right. So it says that the ministry assures the public of commitment to transparent and due process in all matters relating to the public appointment. Michael, what do you make of this?
I think we should ask Fred how this happened.
Well, first I'll come to him. But when you heard that a self-styled medical doctor has found a way into the board of the National Health Insurance Authority, and the fact that this was somebody who was actually on another media platform and was hosting a program for a long time as a medical doctor, okay, I don't know what was going through your mind when you heard of this development. And for you, what for you is the bigger conversation out there?
I think it casts a slur on our media and the government.
Okay.
Because what it does is that, what checks does the media do before they put people on TV?
Okay.
Because now you get pastors, self-acclaimed medical professionals, people selling all sorts of medicine and so on, coming on our airwaves, on our TVs, to talk about things that they may not even have knowledge on, or they may not even have the qualified or certificate or standardized certificates on. And they come out and they say these things as the truth to deceive people. I got shocked when I saw the videos. Initially, I was seeing information about her on social media, but I've not seen the video that she was a health professional having a particular program on one of the media stations.
Yeah.
So when I saw, I was shocked. I was like, what kind of checks did they do to put her on live TV for her to put out some of these things, informing people and so on? She's not a professional medical doctor, but then it's out there that she's a professional medical doctor. So I believe that as a country, we've gotten to the point where we need to do these checks and balances. I know the state apparatuses have various ways of checking some of these things. Before you are even appointed to some sensitive positions, they let the NIB and so on do a background check of you and all those things. I don't know how they missed it. Maybe in the haste to create some of these boards and appointments, maybe they missed it and didn't do due diligence. But it's interesting, and I'm glad that they've been able to revoke it. The media, the social media uproar necessitated this. Initially, when the issue came, I think the government delayed it because I saw the news items and the issues flying on social media a week before even the appointment came out. I think one journalist, Okatechi, had indicated that he was privy to information that the lady was going to receive appointment. After he had done his show, then true to his words, on Monday, just this last week Monday, the appointment letter came that he had been appointed to the board. So it means that even after somebody in the media had hinted that there were issues, the government didn't go to the extent of doing due diligence on her. It was after civil society and other people started commenting on the issues based on the evidence available that she said she had attended John Hopkins University and attained a GP of 4.0. More, you and I knows what it takes to attain a GP of 4.0.
Oh, God.
Okay, it is not easy, especially being a university like John Hopkins. Obviously, it is clear that definitely such institutions, Ivy League institutions, if you attain a GP of 4.0, it will be easy to find out. And she put out all these things, and we let it go. So I'm glad that today he's been taken off the board and replaced. But then these kind of mistakes, it's too early for the government to be making such mistakes. If you start at this level, I don't know the kind of mistakes that you make as time goes on. This is just like 5 months into the government. I think they are getting out of the honeymoon period. And it's quite unfortunate that this lady has come to cast a slur on whatever they are doing. But I would say we are a country where we kind of support some of these things because Dr. UN came and started giving awards. And a lot of our celebrities, public officials and so fell to his traps. By the time it came out that he was a fake doctor and the awards was not genuine and so on, people had been embarrassed. And today the same thing is happening here. I know there are a lot of people even within NDC who have the qualifications, they are health professionals and so on, who campaign for the NDC to come to power. Quite surprisingly, I've been watching social media and some of them complain because some of them expected that they will even get a board to represent. So the question a lot of them are asking is, how did she manage her way onto the board? And these are some of the questions we expect. But it shouldn't end there. I think there should be investigations. Because, you see, she has misrepresented herself. She has, how do you call it? She has more or less represented herself as a medical doctor, which is not true. Because the Ghana Medical Association, I think there was a letter to that effect, and they came that she's not a medical professional in Ghana. And people have also written to John Hopkins, and they've also responded based on an ROI, and they've also responded that her records are not found in their own. I've seen a document circulating on social media. I don't know how true it is. Purported to be her CV, and on that document, I've seen that she attended University of Ghana between 2005 to 2008 and did tourism management.
Yes.
But my question is, university is 4 years. So why would it be 2005 to 2008, which is 3 years? And even if so, most people who are privy to how the universities work and their courses know that between 2004 to 2008, most of our universities were not offering tourism management. Tourism management is a course that I think over the last decade or so, most of the universities have introduced. So it begets knowledge how all these things happen, and she was able to, let me choose my words carefully, put together such character to deceive people in that way. But well, I believe the security agencies have to take up this matter and investigate further so that we will have the full briefing of how this mishap happening. And most importantly, I'm also looking at the revocation letter that came on 23rd.
Okay.
And the appointment and the
day of revocation.
Yes, swearing in. Because the appointment came on the 19th, which was Monday. I think the swearing in was done 2 days ago.
Yes.
And then a revocation letter comes out on 23rd. What I've been asking myself is whether the National Health Insurance Authority received the revocation letter before the swearing in.
Yes, that's a very valid question.
She attended it or not. And even if she didn't attend it, maybe it could be that she wasn't around. Even if she didn't attend it, did they make the revocation letter available to her? These are questions that people are asking. And I believe maybe when they investigate these issues, all these things will come to light.
But you clearly think that somebody should be held responsible for this?
No, I think she herself should be held responsible.
But she didn't put herself on the board.
No, but she misrepresented information to whoever appointed her.
That's one aspect of the issue. But there's
you
another
know the
aspect.
NCA case?
Yes.
The NCA case where there was a director for IT or something.
Yes.
Gave false information. These things happen if you go to the universities. People submit false certificates to the universities.
Yeah.
And they get admission. It is after they've entered the universities, then the university will do a check because they submit the certificates back for authentication. So you realize that sometimes getting to the end of first semester, the universities will bring a list of people that they believe to have submitted fake certificates, and then they would have dismissed them. So when people are committing crime or these things, you can't obviously be able to anticipate what they will do. Once the person has submitted a fake document to the appointing authorities, and it has, based on oversight, they've done this thing, they have to correct it. And it's good they've corrected it. But then in correcting it, there should be action to it, there should be consequences to it. And that consequences should reflect in whatever investigations they do. So I don't want to commit myself to say, okay, somebody committed an act that that person should be hounded out immediately. But I expect that investigation should be carried out on this matter so that we know whether it was other people, there were other people involved, whether it's just the lady who is supposed to face the law, or whether the lady and other people within the appointing authority. Because I believe this board issue didn't even get, I'm sure it didn't get to some attention, maybe in the Jubilee House. Maybe they submitted and they got approval and it went through.
My question was that, wasn't the I don't want to call it the fakeness, for want of a better word. I mean, it was, look, yesterday.
It was obvious.
So I'll tell you something. Yesterday, before we started Good Morning Ghana, my colleague Annie approached me and said, look, how did this doctor, this San Dali doctor, whoever she is, how did she end up as a board member of National Health Insurance Authority?
But the first question is, how did she even end up as a show host?
No, remember, we are not even there yet. In fact, she brought it up. In fact, she actually wanted us to run with that story yesterday. Of course, you know, she determines what stories we should treat and so on and so on and so forth. And I recall at the time, Kwesi Pratt was here, and the other gentleman was Kwesi Pratt and
Collins Hadma.
Collins, no, it wasn't Collins. It was Kwesi Pratt and yes, Isaac Nyako.
Yeah.
You know, and what we said was that, in fact, some of us didn't even, we thought it was, so my reaction was, so I also said, so how did that happen, right? And we were expecting that something would have been done a few minutes even after she said it, because we just thought this was public knowledge.
Yeah.
Right? And lo and behold, you know, as if she knew this was going to happen. She said, "We did here. We'll see what happens." You know, and a few hours later, we're told the president had revoked her appointment because she was shocked. I mean, Adi just couldn't believe it, and she wanted us to run with it. You know, we said, "Oh, we relax more. Let's see what happens." You know what I mean? I mean, because you see, and the reason why I'm saying this is because there's a gentleman called Niyama Matefio.
Yeah.
He sometime must have been a week or 2 weeks ago or so. He went on social media and actually exposed, you know, that this woman was not a medical doctor, so everybody should be wary of her.
I think I started seeing it 2 weeks ago.
You saw that publication?
Yes, I saw it 2 weeks ago.
You know, and of course later he also came and made some apology and gave reasons why he gave that apology. But the one thing about whether her status was authentic or not, you know. But he made some apology because I don't know, but I suspect perhaps, you know, he was called upon to retract because some people were not comfortable with it. You know what I mean? But point is that this was a matter which was of public knowledge. So if it is of public knowledge, who at all would say that he's ignorant about the thickness of this woman's status as a medical doctor?
Quite embarrassing.
And then go ahead and even, you know, appoint her as a board member of not some small institution. We're talking about National Health Insurance Authority. Just when I think about the thing, I don't understand. How?
Well, Moro, let me end.
You know, and you see, when you do these things, it embarrasses the president.
That was what I was coming to. That if now this issue, if you try to take the president out, what it tells is that the president is not the appointing authority. He didn't know of the appointment.
Of course, he will take decisions based on what he would
information
deem to
he will be given.
Sound advice.
If you put the president
into,
given
to him,
it embarrasses the whole presidential architecture.
Of course it does.
That they didn't do their checks well. So this is an embarrassment. It's a total embarrassment.
Anyway,
Moro, I think that is quite a challenging issue. I'm aware that before people are appointed into positions of responsibility, some due diligence is done on them by state institutions. Those is BN and they call NIB. They will go all the way down to your days in primary school, all the way to your GSS, secondary school, and all that, and try to be sure that you are exactly who you claim you are. You know, and when a government takes office, the president takes office, the president appoints almost 5,000 people to every position. There's no way any president under the sun can know all these 5,000 plus people that he appoints directly himself. And so majority of these appointments are done that based on recommendations and all that. CVs are picked. The CVs are forwarded to the various investigative bodies to do some background checks on the people and all that. So far, we haven't heard that, apart from this particular issue, that all the persons who have been appointed have any reason or any doubtful reason for which those appointments shouldn't have been in place. It's quite unfortunate, but the good news is that appointment was issued on the 19th of May. 4 days after, they got information that no, the person who they've appointed is not who she claims she is. And so on the 23rd of May, the appointment was revoked. That's just about 4 days. They claimed that the woman was sworn in. In fact, the swearing-in took place on the 27th, and the woman was not there at all. So she was not sworn in at all as a board member of National Health Insurance. I think it's important to make that point very strongly. She was appointed through on the 19th. The revocation was done 4 days after. The woman didn't get the opportunity to be sworn in as a board member of National Health Insurance. I agree with my brother when he says that we need to investigate this issue further.
I agree.
We don't need to leave it at that point. And this things, Moro, not to justify what has happened, but like he rightly said, go to our universities. I remember years back at Legon, somebody walked up to me, you know, the fellow came to level 100, I think I was in 300 or 400 then, and said, oh, he wants to travel abroad. The person was so desperate about going abroad, I didn't know what was going on. It was in level 100. And sometimes he doesn't even go for lectures. It's like always, anytime you meet him,
he's dodgy.
I want to travel. So after the first year, I didn't see the gentleman again in school. Then later, I think the notice was put out, and I heard that he faked his certificate that he brought to the university. So, like he said, Legon after I have entered, they will send all the certificate back to Waye to authenticate the certificates.
Exactly.
So this guy might have come in with a motive that, okay, you know what? Let me get admission, use the admission to get a visa.
So they normally use the admission to get introductory letter.
Letter
get a visa.
Get a visa and then come out of the country. That was all the motive. Now in this country, we have heard about people who have practiced as lawyers. You know, they go to court for several years before it comes out that apparently they are not even lawyers. This same medical field, we have heard people who say they are doctors and they have practiced for several years, in some cases 14, 15 years, before we get to know that, after all, they are not qualified doctors who practice in our jurisdiction. I'm just wondering what the case was in those days that we didn't have this artificial intelligence and this technology today. That somebody can even travel abroad, go and pick the PhD thesis or master's thesis of another person out there and just come and reproduce the same thing. And the university wouldn't have any way of cross-checking them. But all this is online. And so they can easily have plagiarism and those things. There's no way you could check in those days. You understand? And so those of you are here, somebody come from America, come from whatever it is in Europe and say, oh, I've gone to so and so university and this is the certificate I have. And they've been allowed to work. I think that by the grace of God, because of technology now, these things can easily be checked 1 minute.
Yeah.
You know, those living passports, people go and get visas, then they will remove the passport section at the visa section and put in somebody else's passport for the fellow to travel. Now they will take your biodata and everything.
Yeah.
And so you don't even need your passport again to do anything.
Yeah.
I am happy that
and a simple...
it came very quickly to the knowledge of the appointing authority, and the appointing authority also did the needful. But all of us are saying that it shouldn't end at this point. This lady should be handed over to the police or whichever investigative body. We need to interrogate further. We need to investigate further because this is impersonation, right?
Yes.
So we need to know exactly
the seat of a public officer.
Public officer. And quite apart from that, this is somebody like you are saying was on national television.
Yes.
Claiming that he's a medical doctor, making prescriptions and here and there. But I don't know how many people might have fallen victim to his activities.
If I were CID, I'll struggle to investigate her.
Why will you struggle to investigate her?
I'll struggle.
Well, you know what you know. I don't know what you know. So let me leave that. You know what you know.
Oh,
Moro. I don't know what you know. If you are saying that you're a CID...
You look at this. Look at this woman. How can I investigate her?
Moro, what are you suggesting?
You see?
What are you suggesting?
Moro, but if they can investigate a whole governor.
Okay.
I think that Moro is looking at him from a different...
Haven't you seen her pictures?
So what?
You see?
Moro, what is killing you this morning? Oh, Moro. Her looks, because of her looks, you don't investigate her. Moro, I'm disappointed in you.
We'll try.
Moro, I
want to look at the picture.
I don't want to look in that direction. And so I think that I think
interesting.
This is quite a serious issue. And I believe we have to take steps quickly to get to the bottom of it.
But she's a powerful lady.
What is wrong with you?
Why are you avoiding them? You don't want to look at the picture.
Why are you focusing on...
Moro, if she wasn't powerful, how could she get that appointment?
Oh, okay.
So
you now see what I also see.
I now see
I thought you're not looking.
I'm seeing from here.
Moro, you are not being fair to them. People are not being fair.
How someone will say, but he's a lady.
Moro, you are not being fair to them. Leave the lady alone.
That's all now. We don't want to look at it.
I don't want to look at that direction.
Yeah.
The Bible says flee from temptation. Let's stay away from temptation.
Everybody has their Achilles heel.
Yes. Let's stay away from that temptation. And so I pray that we investigate this issue further.
Okay.
And let's put things where they're supposed to be appropriately, if there are any sanctions and punishment, to serve as a deterrent.
Okay.
You know, to people who want to impersonate themselves. Yes. You see, people are saying all manner of things there. This man.
Just too much. I don't know that. I don't know that. Just too much. I can read this on there.
You this man. But I said, what is God just saying?
So am I allowed to read this message, please? Let me know whether I have the permission to read this message. If I have his own
description,
he has his own approach on how to get to the bottom of this. So I just want to know whether I have his permission to read it.
But once he has sent it to you,
yes.
But you have a discretion to also. You also have a discretion to. But Moro.
But your approach to it won't be bad. You know, you have the peace of mind and the right environment. Okay, so he's given permission to read it. He says tomorrow. He said I can easily investigate at home. top floor.
Oh God, no.
Investigator at home. Top floor.
Top floor.
Top floor. You know,
well, and so, Moro, it is
anyway,
sad.
No, but it's unacceptable.
Yeah, it's unacceptable.
I think there are a lot of useful lessons for us here.
We have to learn a lot of lessons.
Yes. So
for me, I think she should also be.
Okay, so Kwame Sapase also says, CDD says, as for him, you resign as CS, as a CID boss. If he's asked to investigate her. No, the woman powerful. She powerful. No, she powerful. Anyway, so, but he comes.
Before you can do this, Amoro. Before you can do this,
it says it's a due diligence issue. That's from the same Kwame. It says it's a due diligence issue. There are many such people around. It's easy to blame the government, and rightly so. However, these things are found in many job streams in Ghana. There needs to be a serious look at how qualifications are cross-checked. That, for me, is why this happened. That's coming from Kwame Sapon as Sedu. And Hassan says that, Hassan Sawadogo says that, Salam, bro, it's only a married CID man or a CID who can investigate this fake lady doctor.
We have ladies who are CIDs. Don't you have ladies who are CIDs?
There are ladies who are CIDs.
So there are ladies who are CIDs. So you this man, you can't control yourself.
Everybody agrees with me that.
So you this man, you can't control yourself.
Machine powerful. A lot of people say, no, this one, they wash your hands off.
Oh, we have ladies who are CIDs.
But everybody says they are helpless. That's serious.
Oh, me, I can investigate them on my CID.
Anyway, Jeff of Stanbic Bank, I've seen your message too. He also says this one, he will, this one he won't even attempt.
We are very weak.
Anyway, so I guess we can move on. Yeah,
so there are very useful lessons to be learned from this issue.
Very useful lessons. I mean, the others who are bringing this issue about, there are more than 5,000 medical doctors or health practitioners we still haven't employed, and why are we employing the fake doctors? So I'm struggling to get a linkage, because this is not strictly speaking an appointment as saying you've been appointed as a medical doctor of, say, Kolibu or somewhere. This is a board appointment. So I'm struggling to get there.
This is a political appointment.
Yeah, it's more like a political appointment.
But you see, Moro, assuming that this lady is not fake, as we are made to believe now, the fact that she's already in public space, and she's making some advocacy on television, people tend to have some confidence and some belief in her.
Okay.
And so if an appointing authority, a person with that background, I'm saying advice that if you don't know she's fake, you wouldn't struggle to put somebody like that on board.
Right.
Because he's already doing those advocacy. You can easily be carried away by that.
Okay.
But as I said, this thing, we need to really go into it. We need to find out.
Yes.
Just so we can.
But it's the people who do the investigations. And we want to know who they are.
Why are you struggling with this?
Yes, but we need to know who do the investigations.
Can't you do it?
No.
Tomorrow?
No.
Why are you that weak?
No, I'm very strong.
So what is your problem there?
I'm very strong. But I don't have the expertise
I trust my boss, Kojo Chumbo, can do it. Don't worry.
Kojo Chumbo?
Kojo can do it.
No, he says he's more than willing and ready. But on one condition. If only should come to his house. He'll do the investigations there, yes. I don't know what kind of investigation he intends to do. Yeah, but that's her. Yeah, and Dali. Dali.
You must be powerful to succeed at what she did, right? Ordinary person cannot do this, right?
Hey, this was always say, sure. Anyway, so let's move on. Let's look at this matter quickly. So we have Tokonu. And we also have Brandy Champon. So I don't know which of them would do that. But let's look at Tokonu briefly, because it's history which is unfolding right, in front of us. Because this is the first time. Annie, I think it's okay. We are suffering. Please, Ketel are suffering.
Say you are suffering.
No, me, I'm okay. No, I don't know about you.
No, I'm not even looking in that direction.
Okay. No, once you're okay, then I'm fine. Please, you can put the picture back on. Yeah, I know I'm okay. You know, Honorable Michael initially was struggling, but I think it's okay.
I'm okay. I'm very okay.
I'm very okay.
I'm very okay.
Okay, that's fine. So we are okay. Okay, all right.
Tomorrow.
So anyway, so history, like I said, is unfolding right behind, before us. And for the first time, we have a CJ who's been suspended, who's gone back to the very court that she was once superintending over. She's gone back to her own colleagues to seek some remedial actions, and she's not been successful. Now, Malik Suleimana of the Ghanaian Times says that by a unanimous decision, the Supreme Court on Wednesday dismissed an injunction filed by suspended Chief Justice Gertrude Araba Tokono seeking to stop the ongoing probe into 3 separate petitions seeking her removal from office. The court, presided over by acting Chief Justice Popa Fuboni, held that the motion for interlocutory injunction against Justice Gabriel Scott Kwaman Committee lacked merit. Justice Tokono wanted the court to halt her suspension and the impeachment proceedings against her pending the final determination of her suit challenging the constitutionality of the impeachment proceedings against her. Appearing before the judges, the Deputy Attorney General and Minister of Justice, Dr. Justice Remsai, argued that Article 1468 requires that proceedings be held in camera. The Deputy AG cited the case of Justice Ataderi versus Tiger IPI and AG and urged the court to dismiss the supplementary affidavits of Justice Tokono. According to the Deputy AG, the depositions and affidavits were in breach of the in-camera requirements per Article 1468. Taking his turn to address the court, Mr. Godfrey Yabu-Adame, counsel for Justice Tokono, told the court that the depositions of the supplementary affidavits were not part of proceedings per the Ataderi case and Article 1468 of the 1992 Constitution. He contended that Article 1468 cannot be construed to mean that a party is disentitled to judicial reliefs when the committee goes aboard its jurisdiction or powers. Now, a bit of a background. On May 21, Justice Tokono filed a motion for injunction against the members of the committee. In her supplementary affidavit, the suspended Chief Justice stated her rights were being abused. She emphasized that she was concerned that the committee was determined to proceed with its inquiry despite bringing the attention to the people pendency of the suit challenging the committee. Justice Tokono also contends that the committee fixed dates for hearing disregarding her counsel. It was a case that committee has stringently decided that the petitioners would not give evidence themselves, but will be calling others to give evidence. So, as I said, this is historic, and injunction has been knocked down. So what it means, the committee is now free to go about and do its work. None of us here is a lawyer, but I'm sure we have some idea of what is happening. What do you make of this recent development? We have just what? How many minutes? We have just 10 minutes. So we can split it 5 minutes each, and that's fine.
We are a growing democracy.
Okay.
And so that's when it comes to this, we have to test all our laws. I am happy that the person at the center of all this issue is none other but the suspended Chief Justice.
Okay.
I said somewhere yesterday that a few weeks ago I was having a conversation with a former very high-ranked police officer who is now on pension. And he was telling me his ordeal as he was traveling from somewhere in the northern region towards Accra, and the things that he witnessed on the road, the way the police treated him. And so, say, if you are not experiencing it, this is what we have been through, or we've been going through all these many years. Maybe when you're in uniform, or when you were in uniform, you didn't notice that this is how things are on our roads. I'm happy that the Chief Justice herself is at the Supreme Court, facing her own colleagues. That not too long ago, she sits on the same bench with, to determine cases involving other people. That is what democracy can produce. I'm also happy that the one in court representing her is the former Attorney General, of the Republic of Ghana. That's very interesting, right?
Yeah.
And some of the things that we heard not too long ago about how, the Attorney General, the Chief Justice Office, and the things that it's quite interesting thing that we are seeing now. Thank God it's not for Dagbunyo that is on that committee, where you will say that because I'm an NDC member, I'm being biased or whatever. Now, it is their own colleagues. They know better. They know the law.
Right.
They are the justices. The only thing that I'm worried about is why the suspended justice, Chief Justice, has allowed herself to be, as it were, to be dragged along like this by the former Attorney General. I don't know what she's fighting for. To be very honest, if I were to be in her shoes, I will just resign immediately and let go of this issue. I don't know what she's fighting for. I don't know how she believes. I don't know. One of the issues is sub judice. I don't want to go into the substance of the issue, but really, I think the honest thing for her to do is to just resign honorably, right to the President. Mr. President, thank you very much for the opportunity. I think the committee should not even proceed with their work again. Let me go home and go and rest. I think that would be good for her. But as it were, surprisingly and interestingly enough, all MPP presidents are now her supporters. They are all cheering her on, And the sad thing to hear is that, don't interfere with the judiciary. If you do that, you're undermining the authority of the judiciary. If this constitution, the Constitution of Ghana, allows the president that the people voted for to be impeached as and when it becomes necessary, how can we say that the judges of the Supreme Court cannot be removed from office when there's any wrongdoing? How can we say that? All of us, nobody's above the law.
Yeah.
And so when some people think that you've gone against the law, you need to face it. I remember a few years ago, the then President Nana Akufo-Addo told us that the presidency, or it was a conveyor belt. And so anytime petitions were given to him, he submitted same to the Council of State. And once they determined a prima facie, the president now set up a committee to go for the president to appeal for the committee. I remember the case of Charlotte Osei. Is that not correct?
Yes.
But even before President Akufo-Addo left office, I remember somebody submitted a petition to him about this same suspended Chief Justice. Remember that? I think Professor Azar, who sent a petition to him. On that occasion, the president ceased to be a conveyor belt. The petition was thrown away. Meanwhile, some petitions in the past, even when the people submitted a petition, they didn't have dates and they didn't sign the petition, they were invited and coached so that they can get the petition to really be a good one that they could forward to the Council of State. It's good we are where we are. We are learning. And for me, yes, the justices should also know that the citizenry are watching. And sometimes, you see, everything that we do under the sun is driven by perception, right? What do people really, the people of Ghana, think about the judiciary? I say when you go to most advanced societies, what the judiciary does is to protect the ordinary people. Because we believe there's no way the ordinary person can fight the power of the state. But in our context, like Professor Raymond Atuguba said that day at Jimpa, when all the justices sat in front of him and was presenting a paper, he told them in the face that, in fact, he chronicled a number of cases that appear before the Supreme Court. And he concluded that any time a case appeared before the Supreme Court, it's a political case, the ruling was based, or the justice's ruling was based on which government appointed him into office. I hope you remember that particular issue. That very day, the Chief Justice himself was there. And so, for me, where we are now, nobody should see it as interfering with the judicial system. Because the truth is that the confidence of Ghanaians before now has really dwindled when it comes to the issue of the judiciary in this country. It's true. And all the research that were done by Afrobarometer and the rest pointed in that direction, that the confidence in the judiciary was going down and down and down. We sat in this country, you remember what's the name? Our leader in Parliament, the Speaker of Parliament, and Honorable Apenyu Makins, Bagbin and Apenyu Makins case in this country, the way issues are handled, that the case was taken to court this morning by afternoon. Yes. By afternoon, they have set up a committee to do a hearing. They finished the hearing, a determination was made the same very day. How does it happen? Have we ever experienced anything like that in this country?
All right.
And these are things that the Chief Justice himself presided over. The same Chief Justice now writes to the President recommending people must be appointed onto the bench. So was he recommending his favorites? Is that how justices are appointed to the Supreme Court?
All right.
And all the allegations that they themselves are saying that they are the reasons for which she's being investigated. And so for me, I'm happy we are testing our laws. We are improving our democracy. We should allow the state to work. We should allow the law to work. She said the law is the law.
Okay.
So let the law be the law.
All right, Michael. Please kill this for me in 3 minutes if you can.
If someone had told me that a day will come that the NDC will believe in the courts and start to shout, the law is the law, I wouldn't believe. But it's a good time to be alive, to witness some of these things. Because when you talk about Afrobarometer reports on judiciary and so on, the Afrobarometer reports are based on people's perceptions. And people's perceptions are triggered based on the negative campaign that they did against the judiciary, calling the judiciary an unanimous FC and so on. Today, are they no more unanimous FC? Currently, their language has changed, and they are saying the law is what? The law. That is the inconsistent nature of our colleagues. Brandishing the judiciary as an anonymous FC that is doing the bidding of some particular people, then suddenly that same judiciary, that same courts, that same judges, now you believe that are practicing the law. If you look at the recent Asifua case, the ruling was a 3-2 decision, right? They were happy because they felt it went in their favor. And then the supplementary affidavit that Justice Tokonu submitted to the ruling is a 5-0, technical knockout. And they are happy, and they are saying the law is what? The law. But in the past, if same thing had been done, the language would have been different.
Right.
We would have derailed the whole judiciary system. We would have demonized it and made it look like they were doing something that was unheard of. Today, if you go to the US, the Supreme Court has ruled against the president's decision to prevent this tax, how do you call it? The tax, this thing that he slapped on some countries.
Oh, you mean the trade tariff?
Trade tariffs.
Yes.
The Supreme Court has ruled against it. There should be checks and balances within our governance structure.
Okay.
That is why we have separate arms of government. We have the judiciary headed by the Chief Justice. We have the presidency or the executive headed by the president. And then we have the legislative assembly headed by the Speaker of Parliament.
All right.
And in all this, even when we elect a president or a speaker, it is the judiciary that swears them in.
Right.
The judiciary is there to make sure there are checks and balances and proper representation for the people. But when today the political class decide to use the law the way they please to hound the judiciary, posterity will judge all of us.
How did the political class use the law to
this same law? This same law. Why is it that we go to the Supreme Court and we take cases to the Supreme Court, and sometimes we go for the same cases, later we will submit the same cases for a different decision or outcome, a review. Because the law, when you are doing interpretations, there may be several interpretations depending on the particular situation. Quite interestingly, the supplementary affidavit that the Chief Justice submitted to the court threw out the whole affidavit.
They said it was meritless.
Yes, they threw it out. But what surprised me was that the Chief Justice had indicated human violations against a person.
Which one?
That
A
when
phone?
no, when she's going into the premises where they are doing the whole committee setting, she is scanned. She is searched, and the searching is done by mails. You understand this country?
All the years that she was there, she doesn't know that has been signing women who come to that place. She just realized
this country, even
she
at the airport,
suddenly.
females search females.
Sometimes females search males.
No.
It's true.
Even
what I
at
say.
the airport.
Are you saying that a female has never scanned before?
The Chief Justice is no less person. She's the head of the judiciary.
You should have put that in place.
She is the third in, if you are talking about hierarchy of our governance, she's the third in person. You don't treat her to such inhumane things. And to the extent that even her lawyers is inhumane. Her lawyers are not even allowed their phones and their laptops when they go into the committee sitting. How can they even make reference? Whilst those who are accusing her accusers, lawyers are bringing in their laptops. And the Supreme Court overlooked all these issues. And you see,
can we appoint you?
You see, we are building a nation. We all have to be careful. Posterity will judge all of us.
When did you realize all this?
So Prosper Ashikwe, who is a regular viewer of the show for Salam Down,
you had your bite. Allow me to have my bite.
I can, a lot of people are fixated more with this Andali matter.
Yes.
And it's interesting. All of them are saying they will struggle to investigate. I don't know what their reason is. Because I can tell you that the people who have actually investigated her, the people might have been confused and might not have written any reports. And he says, leave her alone. She's a doctor. Do you know how many people she has healed? I don't know what kind of healing he's talking about. But anyway, Michael.
If a whole government is being investigated, how much more an answer? It shouldn't be difficult.
You don't know what people
unless there's no political will.
Well, this one goes beyond political will. Anyway, so thank you. Thank you very much for your time. Michael Akwesi.
Can we go and bring her so we interview her?
Well,
that'll be a good one.
I will be glad.
Yeah, if you can get up there to bring in on your set.
Yes.
Can you conduct the interview?
Yes, I'll need help.
To conduct the interview?
Yes.
Get inside of the story.
My name is Audu Moro, and I'm more than willing to interview Andali. So if anybody can secure that interview, we'll interview her here.
In the studio?
With all of you being around. Otherwise, I'll be struggling. Yes. Oh, how? Well, ladies and MP4 Forikro, and also Mr. Fred Agbanyo is the honorable member of parliament for the Guan constituency. We're still advocating that Guan, is rather turned into Sal, and so we hope to see that day, and all of us will be happy. Thanks for watching Good Morning Ghana. Have a good day. Bye bye.
The law binds us all, and the law is the law. Is the law. Those who said, and the law is the law, did not complete the sentence. The law is the law, is the law. That is the sentence. The law binds us all, and the law is the law, is the law. Those who said, and the law is the law, did not complete the sentence. The law is the law, is the law. That is the sentence.
Watch out for Cook Africa